Welcome to this video about copying, editing, and embedding videos into Smart Notebook. So to start with, what I want you to do is Internet Explorer will not work. We need to use either Google Chrome or Firefox. Let's start with Google Chrome. If you go to the top right corner, go to the tool icon and click Tools, and then click Extensions. And that'll take you to a program that you can upload called the Ultimate YouTube Downloader. Alright, that's one. Now what you could also do is go to Firefox and go to the top left corner and click the Firefox orange bar, and then click Add-ons. Go to the search menu at the top right and click type Download Helper. Download Helper. And that will bring up one of many add-ons that Firefox has, and you can upload that small program as well. So what I'm going to do with this video is demonstrate ripping videos using Firefox rather than Google Chrome, but you could do either one. Now I'm in Firefox, so I'm going to go to YouTube because there's a YouTube video I'm interested in embedding or linking. I'll show you both of those today into a Smart Notebook file. So I'm going to go to open up YouTube, and I like the Big Bang Theory, so I'm going to go up to where the Big Bang Theory, go up to the search menu, and I'm going to click Sheldon Teaches Penny, because I remember this episode has a good example of where Sheldon actually takes Newton's second law, sets it equal to Newton's law of gravitation, and derives a really nice equation there for you physics teachers. So what you'll want to notice about YouTube is there's a lot of videos on the right of the video that you chose, and sometimes those videos may be highly inappropriate. So you never want to open up YouTube at school. So what you want to do is you want to copy that video. Now look at the top left corner and you'll see a little molecule that's spinning. If that molecule is grayed out, that means there's a video that cannot be copied. But Firefox can copy most videos, but it can't do, let's say, a Java applet or something like that. But here, this video will work. So if you click that rotating molecule, and the video doesn't have to be playing, you'll have several extensions and sizes, quality of videos that you can do. So I'm going to choose, I'm going to start out with a FLV file, and I'll show you the benefits of an FLV file. And you can see here, depending on the size of the video, that it's currently copying that video. Now while it's copying, I'm going to go and look for another one. This one's going to be Penny Falls in Shower. There's a funny scene where Penny falls in shower and Sheldon talks about the coefficient of static friction. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to copy that as well. So when I copy this video, I'm going to copy it as a MP4 so we see some examples, some differences between the two. And you can see both of those now are copying. But I've actually copied those earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this out. And we're going to use these two. I'm going to show you the difference between FLV and an MP4 in terms of trying to embed that into a Smart Notebook file. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Smart Notebook. You can see there's my two files. In fact, you might want to organize those files. I'll show you that in a second. So if you take a FLV file, you can actually pull it directly into a Smart Notebook and drop it in. It's now embedded. That means that you could literally leave the page, come back, and it's still there. You can play, pause, you can resize the video. So there's a huge advantage to using FLV in terms of embedding it into a Smart Notebook. So there's times where you might want to do that. However, I do want you to be aware that when you embed videos in Smart, that it's a huge file, so it could slow it down. Notice you can also control the volume, and keep in mind that the frame rate at which I recorded my video here is only 3 frames per second, so the video file that I embedded may be a little jerky, but yours will be fine. So again, there's the embedded FLV file. Now here's the MP4. Watch what happens. See how I got that message? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to move this FLV file out of the way. I'm going to delete it. And what's left is the MP4 file. It didn't embed. What it did was it actually created a link to the file that's on my desktop. And so there's a little picture of a paperclip. That's a link. So if I click that, you can see it actually opens the video. Now there's some advantages to doing it that way because it doesn't take up as much space. So now you can see, since we're going to be linking, it's a good idea to go ahead and start creating a folder. And whenever you're working on a lesson plan that involves links, I recommend that you create a folder and put everything that you're going to be working in, including the Smart Notebook, in that folder, so that everything has a pathway and it's neat and organized. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of that link because that link actually is not very interesting, and I'm going to show you a different way to do that in a minute. But for now, I want you to consider that whenever you rip a video from YouTube, you probably don't want to show the whole video, right? In fact, I highly recommend you don't do that. So let's open up Premiere Elements or Windows Movie Maker to edit that video. So Premiere Elements is probably on your Gwinnett County laptop, and you can find that by going to All Programs. I'm going to close that, and let me show you Windows Movie Maker. You may also have that, but if you don't, what you can do is go ahead and go online and type in Windows Movie Maker, and I would recommend downloading that. Now you might want to ask permission first from your school's LSTC, but this is a harmless file that's very advantageous to teachers. Now what's the advantages and disadvantages to Premiere Elements versus Windows Movie Maker? Premiere Elements is much more robust and it can do more. Windows Movie Maker is a little bit easier to work with. So you might want to play around with both of them and see what you think. For this video, I'm going to demonstrate using Windows Media Player. Now, I've opened up that FLV file. Notice what happened here. I have that exclamation point because Windows Media Player cannot work with the FLV file. So the advantage of FLV is it was embedded into a Smart Notebook, but I can't really edit it. So what I want to do now is I want to actually go and get an MP4 version of that same video, which I already had on hand, because MP4 is going to work. FLV just happens to not work for for Windows Media Player. Now you can see I can hit play there in Windows Movie Maker, and there's the whole video. But I don't want to show the whole video, and a good pedagogy is to just engage students with the video file segment that you want, not just large videos that you may show for a whole period, which I have done in the past. But I think better habit is to do it this way. So what you do is you right click anywhere on the video slide reel that you want and hit clip, and then it separates the two parts of the video where you've clipped it, and then you can delete the part you don't want. So here we have just the segment that we want. It actually starts at the section where Penny falls and he makes his comment about the coefficient of static friction. That would be a good lead-in or a good hook to get students' attention as I talk about that. And then I'm also going to delete the section after that. So now I have a very small section. I'm going to go to save this. And remember, we're creating folders, so we want to be sure to put this in the right folder. And we're going to save this to run on a computer, or you can do high def. It's a small video, so you can see it's rendering very quickly here. High def would take a little bit longer. And now that it's finished, I can go ahead and close that out. But you might want to also save the Windows Movie Maker file in case you want to go back and edit this some more or re-edit it again later. So it's got two different now. It's got the Windows Movie Maker file for editing, and it's also got a file that actually rendered the video. So now we can go and open up that video and see if it plays. So there it is. And sure enough, it's just the clip we want. So this is good. So now I want to bring this into a smart notebook. Well, I don't want to embed it because remember how I said that would slow down your notebook lesson? What I'd want to do is I want to create a link. I think it'd be much more interesting. So if you go to Programs and go to Accessories, you have a little program called Snippet. And I would actually recommend putting that into your toolbar because that's a useful tool. Now what I'm going to do is like HyperSnap. It's just like an abbreviated version of HyperSnap. So I can click that and take a quick picture of any scene that I like from that short video. And I'm going to save that into the folder that I created earlier. And I'm also going to take that picture and I'm going to pull it into Smart Notebook in a minute. But let's go ahead and save that in our folder. Remember, we want everything organized for our lesson. Sometimes I get in a bad habit of saving everything on my desktop. But we've got that in a folder now. And I'm going to open that folder. And I'm just going to pull that picture now right into Smart Notebook. Now, instead of a URL or a link to the actual link directed to your file, I have a picture. So I'm going to right click that and I'm going to go to Properties to create a link, and I'm going to go to my computer and I'm going to pick that file. Now we already saved that movie. We rendered it from Windows Movie Maker where we edited it, and then we put it into a file, and I'm going to go to that file, that folder, and I'm going to double click that, open it up, and say OK. Now it's been saved as a link, but the link is actually a paperclip in the bottom left corner. I don't really like that, so I'm going to go back to link, and I'm going to choose the entire object. So I'm going to say OK to that, and now if I click anywhere on that object, it opens up that video immediately for my students. So you can see it's not embedded right now. It's actually been saved as a file, but it looks good. It's got a picture, and I open it up as a quick video, and now it's a nice hook to begin to engage my students. So good luck with this.